Are you a speaker, author, coach, subject matter expert, or someone looking to get paid for your knowledge, but maybe you feel intimidated by the tech side of digital mentorship? Welcome to a session where your tech fears become a thing of the past. Today, we are going to be transforming what seems daunting into something very doable and very empowering. If the thought of navigating digital tools has held you back, fear not. You are about to become a tech wizard, equipped to tackle the digital space with ultimate confidence. Join us as we simplify complex tech mazes into clear, manageable paths and guide you in launching your journey to digital mentorship. Let's turn your expertise into income without the tech overwhelm. Let's go. Welcome back to the Digital Mentors YouTube channel, where we help aspiring entrepreneurs just like you turn their knowledge and passion into a profitable online business. Now, in this video, we're going to be discussing the tech stack of today's digital mentor. Now, if you are a speaker, author, coach, subject matter expert, or someone looking to get paid for their knowledge, this video is going to help you understand how you can leverage today's technology to get your voice, your message, and your solutions out to the world. Now, what do we mean by tech stack? Well, look, in this day and age, if you are creating coaching programs, workshops, webinars, boot camps, courses, and more, you are going to be using tech to be able to accomplish this. Now, I am curious, when I say tech stack, do you kind of clam up? Do you start sweating a little bit? I'm curious if you are someone who, most likely daily, potentially tells yourself that you are just not techie. Well, you're not alone. Now, let me ask you this. When you say you aren't techie, and that's what you believe, and you start diving in to the technology and the software, and you get stuck, what's your initial reaction? See, from my experience, the people that live into the fact that they are just not techie will get frustrated. They'll get overwhelmed to the point of not moving forward, or even worse, they'll just flat out quit. So from here on out, I want you to just tell yourself and accept that you are in fact a tech wizard. I actually want you to write it on a sticky note. You can put it on your computer, your desk, your mirror, wherever you need to remind yourself that you are a tech wizard. Why? Because a tech wizard figures a way. A tech wizard doesn't know everything about all the softwares and features and functionality, but a tech wizard will find a way to accomplish whatever is needed in order to get their message out to the world and in order to make an impact. So you are a tech wizard. With that said, be the gnome. All right, relax, because we aren't actually diving in to software today. So there's nothing to get overwhelmed about. Actually, what we are covering today is what you should expect from your software, what to expect from the tech stack that is available to you these days, so that when it is time to build, when it's time to create that course or that funnel or that checkout cart, when you are in the software, you don't get overwhelmed, because you know exactly what to expect, exactly what you're looking to build, and what you need to get it done. So before we get started, as always, make sure you smash that like button. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button and click that bell to get notified every time we put out new content like this. Let's keep going. Let's take a look at what we are going to be covering over the next few minutes or so. We're going to be talking about the MVP tech stack simplification. We're going to be talking about the MVP, your minimum viable product, as it relates to your customer journey, your monetization strategy, and your overall funnel. And we'll discuss how we can potentially start lean and then scale, going more advanced, leveraging some more tech. So like blocks or bricks or Legos, how we can add more blocks to an already working funnel to help automate the process. We're going to be talking about the digital mentorship journey. We'll discuss the 3 phases of this journey and the tech features that you can implement for each individual phase. We're also going to be taking a look at some real-world applications. We're going to be breaking down some examples throughout this session using some of our clients' existing offers so you can see some of these things in action. I truly believe that if you see some of these moving pieces in action, it will really start to sink in what you need to be able to have to run your business right now and what you can begin to implement as you continue to grow. So let's start out with the tech stack simplification, and we'll take a look at some example funnels. I'll show you how we can complicate the hell out of it, but I'll tell you, if someone shows you a screenshot of a ridiculous 50-step funnel with all kinds of if-then statements and 9 different types of communication automated in 12 different ways, please don't get excited. These complex funnels that I like to call Franken funnels are like trying to solve a maze blindfolded. They are unnecessarily complicated, they take ages to set up and longer to test, and just like a maze, they're very, very easy to get lost in. They also tend to break a lot, so require their own maintenance almost constantly. Now, our goal is to start simple. What is the minimum amount of moving parts that you need to accomplish your goal, to accomplish the end goal of your funnel? Let me show you some examples. We're going to take a look at a simple funnel. No website, very, very minimal tech. Now, it starts with something you're probably familiar with, a social media post. From there, it leads to direct messaging, and then potentially to a booking calendar, and finally to a payment processor like PayPal or Venmo. Now, this funnel, it's pretty straightforward, right? It leverages tools that you're likely already using. The only addition might be a booking calendar service, and there are plenty out there to choose from. But the real question is, what more do you really need at a beginning stage? See, tech should never be an obstacle that stops you. This setup focuses on one key ingredient that's crucial for making sales and getting your expertise recognized. And I'm hoping you might be able to figure this one out. It's conversations. Conversations are the cornerstone of sales and client engagement, especially when you're just starting out. See, tapping into your warm market and engaging in real, genuine conversations is vital. It's about understanding the challenges your audience faces and guiding them towards a solution that you offer. This is where the magic happens. By focusing on conversations, you're not just selling a product or a service, you're creating a relationship. And that's where long-term success begins. So that's overall pretty simple, right? It's about as simple as it gets. But hey, we're human, so let's complicate it. What if we turn this very, very basic funnel into what we call a consultation funnel, which is basically the same thing with one extra step, one extra block, and that is adding a lead magnet or an opt-in page to the mix. The point of that being, we are now building an email list. And we now can leverage that list by sending out automated emails pointing people to our booking calendar so we get more touch points to get to the ultimate goal, which in this case is to get people to book a call with us. Now, at this point, we probably want to replace this payment option to a true payment processor as well, like a traditional checkout cart. So our goal when making a funnel more complicated, and this is critical to understand, the reason why we would want to add moving pieces to a funnel is for automation, increased cash flow, and to ensure that leads are qualified at each step of the journey, ultimately saving you time and resources. I mean, think about it. If that simple funnel worked and made you money, why would you ever change it? Why would you add anything to it? Well, because it's not very scalable, right? So let's look at what else we can do. Well, we could add a pre-qualifying page before the booking calendar. Make sure we are only speaking to prospects that will want what we have to offer. This could be a video clearly explaining what the call is about, or maybe even a survey asking questions, which, if answered the way you want, only then do they get to book a call with you on your calendar. This saves us time and resources. And with this little extra qualification and nurturing, we could maybe add a more expensive coaching offer, or maybe group coaching or something like that, or maybe a high ticket offer like private coaching or retreats. But notice how we are building upon the simplicity and only adding when we need to. Finally, let's look at how we can automate this funnel even more potentially with a customer acquisition funnel, which is the same as a consultation funnel, but again, with just another block added, with a customer acquisition offer thrown in to get a buyer. So let's take a look. Same beginning as before. Get them to opt in. We then send them to a bridge page, which is just a modified thank you page, kind of teeing up the offer with a button that then sends them to a sales page. And remember, we can add in that email block as well because of the opt-in page. We are forever now building our email list. Now, the purpose of this offer, this low ticket offer, isn't just to get immediate cash flow into the funnel. It's about transforming the entire dynamics of the conversation. See, by integrating this block or this offer, we shift our focus to engage exclusively with buyers, the most valuable and hot prospects that we have. These are individuals who have already shown a willingness to buy, making them prime candidates for our higher ticket offers. We can even add in maybe an order bump or an upsell to get a little bit more cash flow with that funnel. And this all happens potentially without us even having to reach out and talk to the customer yet. See, these customers will most likely become your best buyers. As you know, it's much easier to get a customer to buy again than it is to get a new buyer. So maybe during our client engagement, either via the course that they bought or the workshop or the boot camp, the training, we offer the opportunity to book a call again. And again, this allows us to point them to our high ticket offers. To help with this, we'll probably throw in some automated emails, maybe even some SMS messages to guide them through every step of this journey. All of this is possible these days for a digital mentor. So does that make sense? Can we see how we can build from a simple no-tech funnel to adding a bunch of different features, functionalities, and building blocks and assets to build out a full-fledged customer journey as we grow? These were just examples. Now, I want to touch on the typical journey that you are looking at here, broken down into 3 phases. And we want to talk about the tools and the tech stack that you can use in each phase. So you are looking here at your typical customer journey, from capture to nurture to enroll. Capture, where we actually capture our leads and begin those conversations. Nurture, where we continue those conversations. And then enroll, where they ultimately become customers. Within each of these phases, we have some tech that we can help us. So let's take a look at those so you get a full understanding of some of the tools available to you, again, as a digital mentor. So the capture phase. What are some tools that we can use in this phase? Well, at its most basic, if we go back to that simple funnel that we showed you before, we have social media for organic outreach and connection. And we have booking calendars to help us create space for conversations. As we dive deeper into a tech stack, we can then add some landing pages and lead generation funnels, maybe some forms and surveys, even an inbound phone system or chatbot on our website. Maybe one even powered by AI to keep you completely hands-off. See, this starts getting really, really interesting in terms of automation and freeing up your time. Now let's move on to nurture. How about the nurture phase? Here, our focus is on maintaining engagement with your leads, building up those relationships and guiding them towards a purchase, guiding them to become customers. What could we use? Well, at the base level, again, we have email. An email autoresponder would be an obvious choice to continue to follow up with our leads, creating valuable content to send out to our leads to continue to show authority and our willingness to help. You have direct messaging, right? Facebook, Instagram, automated email and messaging campaigns. If you start running ads, we can start talking about retargeting here, paying to stay in front of your audience. Here's also where we want to start talking about a CRM as well. And I would ask you, have you ever truly used a CRM before? See, as you continue to generate leads and continue to build relationships, continue to build out your customer journey, you will want a tool in place to easily track your leads throughout that journey. You'll want to be able to track the conversations you are having in one place and potentially even use a pipeline to help you visually see this as well. As you begin to use something like this, you'll see that it becomes second nature. This is where you will spend a lot of your time checking in, taking action, assigning tasks, communicating, and more. It's a very important tool to have at your disposal as you grow your business. Finally, let's take a look at the enrollment phase. What type of tools would we use to help us build out the enrollment phase? Now, I like to think of this as 2 different aspects. All right. One is your monetization strategy, how we collect money. The other is how we deliver the goods, how we provide our buyers with what they actually bought. So for the collecting money phase, we'll be moving away from those one-offs here of PayPal and Venmo and things like that onto a true payment processor. We'll be using checkout carts and sales pages, leveraging upsells and order bumps to increase cash flow in some of these funnels. even the ability to send invoices for services, as we've seen some of our clients doing recently. This is also where our offers come in, where you deliver the goods. We're talking about courses and monthly memberships, coaching, selling access to yourself, workshops, boot camps, and services. The ability to house all of this and sell it in an automated, hands-off way is critical. So that seems like a lot of tools, right? We could look at this a couple of different ways. We can see all of this and get very overwhelmed. Think, man, how am I going to implement all of this into my business? And you start seeing why people might get overwhelmed at this stage. How am I going to implement all of this into a daily routine? Or we could look at this as building blocks, which is my recommendation. Look at what has been made available to us as business owners, as digital mentors these days. Look at what we can gradually add to our business to make our lives easier, to be able to save time and resources and be able to have a greater impact. Look at them as pieces that we can gradually add to our arsenal of tools as we grow. You know, back in the day, I did a project with a colleague of mine, and it was a personal project of his, something that he was really, really excited about. And it was a virtual summit that would go into a monthly membership, most likely. But we were really focused on hosting this virtual summit. It was free to sign up, but you had to pay to get access to the recordings past a certain time. Now, this was years ago, so a lot of what we've mentioned here wasn't even available back then. But I want to show you what this disaster of a tech stack looked like. The summit was called the Limitless Living Society Virtual Summit. He had a ton of speakers lined up, and it really was an awesome event. So to host everything, we were going to be using WordPress, but WordPress doesn't have a built-in membership area or a way to really display courses and control access. So we added some plugins. We added a plugin called MemberPress and LearnPress. Then we needed a way to sell access. So we integrated another service called ThriveCart, which connected to a Stripe account to build a checkout cart. Now that didn't have a way to add any upsells to it. So we had to buy another service to add that. Then for emails, we integrated ActiveCampaign. Video hosting, we used Vimeo, and we knew that we wanted affiliates, so we had to add another service to manage our affiliate program. Now, I got to tell you guys, this experience was absolutely awful. I think I'd been doing this for about 15 years when we did this, and to this day, this is the worst tech experience I have ever had, and I think my business partner would back me on that for sure. Let me show you one of the reasons why this was so hard. Let's take a look at the bootstrap method, all right, which is what you just saw. And we'll take a look at what could be considered the old way of putting this together, but I know a lot of people still leverage the bootstrap method. So we have something called the Business Center, all right? Let's assume that we're using an older software. And now with the Business Center, we always had users sign up for Aweber for email marketing and connecting it to their Business Center. Then for booking calendars, we would say, go ahead and sign up for Calendly and connect it as well. All amazing services. They really are standalone, amazing services. But now we have 3 services that we are using. They each connected to the main software, the Business Center, but they don't know the other exists. They can't speak to each other without some really high-tech integrations. So imagine doing that with 12 or 13 services like we had to do. It was a real headache. But we have entered into the age of the all-in-one platform, like what is available now in the Digital Mentors Hub. This has ushered in the age of the all-in-one method, where everything talks to one another. Everything is integrated. Everything is under one roof. And this allows us to use all of these different building blocks, all these different tools, and implement them as we become ready without having to look elsewhere, without complicated integration, and without the tech headache. Now, I show you this because if you decide to go the route of an all-in-one platform when you log in for the first time, you may see all of these options and forget that you're a tech wizard. You might get overwhelmed thinking, oh man, I don't know what to do first. I don't know what to do next. I'm lost. I'm out. I want to leave you with 2 things to consider here as we tie this up. One is simply how you look at things here. It's easier when building these things to look at the tools as blocks or chunks or even Legos. That way you can look at it and say, hey, I could use this piece here. Let's do this. If I add this here, I can automate this step. We could even break it down into individual funnels. For example, building a lead generation funnel inside of an all-in-one platform. I know it consists of most likely 3 building blocks. The form, what people use to opt in, the funnel, what gets people to want to opt in, and it houses the form, and then the automation or the workflow, which is what happens after they opt in, like sending out emails and messaging. The other thing that we have found that is just critical is to go into software, go into the tech knowing what you are trying to build, knowing what you are going to build. If you do that, you'll never be lost on where to go next. You'll never be questioning what you need to do because you have the ultimate end goal at hand. So I want you to remember those examples that we covered earlier in this video, how we can start with something so incredibly simple and then just build upon that to implement more building blocks with 3 potential goals in mind. Automate something, add more revenue, add more money to your bottom line, or use it as a way to qualify your leads throughout your customer journey. So that is it for this video. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. If you've been using an all-in-one method, if you're still on the bootstrap method, I would love to hear your thoughts on what we covered here today. If you're new here, make sure you like, smash that subscribe button, hit that bell to get notified every time we release content like this. We are Digital Mentors, where we help you transform your knowledge into a profitable online business. We'll see you soon.